Good afternoon once again. My name is Veronika and I'm the key account manager at Karger Publishers. The purpose of this presentation is to make a short introduction of who we are, who Karger Publishers is, and what our road to open has been so far and what we see for going forward. So who's Karger? Karger is a family-owned business, a publishing house located in Basel. For those of you who may not quite know where that is, it's right at the border with France and Germany. It's a publishing house that has been around for more than 130 years, with still like 4 generations of Karger family members, and we have Gabriella Karger as currently the chairwoman on top of our board. Karger is a rather small publisher. We are extremely and highly specialized, particularly in the area of medicine, with publishing a wide portfolio, but exclusively for specialized e-journals and e-books. Now, having traditionally been a very subscription-based publisher, Karger for the last couple of years has gradually taken up the road of becoming an open access publisher, and thus its focus has gradually shifted towards direction of open access, in more generally speaking, open science, with extending its portfolio of services and products which go way beyond the traditional access-based business, but also covering further this research cycle and cycle of knowledge cycle for researchers and people in academia. When I found this picture, I thought it was a bit ironical in recent times, but in terms of what open access is all about, I would gladly see that Karger has to continue moving in the direction of open access, and it has gradually advanced. Apologies for this, I hope my slide changed. So Karger has, as part of the open access movement, has gradually changed and continues expanding more and more in the area of open access and open science, and it takes into account the various stakeholders. In this particular case, we're talking about not only institutions and our existing customers, but researchers in the wider spectrum, as well as patients, clinicians, and anyone who is not only involved in the research cycle, but also in the knowledge transfer to health practitioners and patients. How have we accomplished the open access movement? Or how are we still in the process of transitioning? Over the last couple of years, we can see that Karger has gradually flipped more and more of its journals, while continuously acquiring as well additional open access journals and expanding its portfolio, which now covers about 100 journals, 1/3 of which are open access journals. Furthermore, how we are advancing and welcoming the needs of the market is by supporting researchers every step of the way. We have easy, flexible, and user-friendly workflows in place for our researchers. We have policies which support largely open access, and that meaning a larger or wide understanding of the different open access licenses, and of course having deals in place which take into account the different stakeholders' needs and requirements, those being customers and researchers, meeting the requirements and mandates of open access funders, meeting the demands, and rather having a very in-depth understanding of the different markets and how the shift and the transition from open access varies diversely depending on the regions in the world. What we continue doing, besides having the open access journals, is also establishing our own journals, which go under the title of partner publications. Now, what are partner publications? These are journals which are established as a cooperation between Karger Publishers and an institution. They're under the Platinum Open Access model, which means there are no APCs charged to the authors, and they they can vary from a wide range, starting from the field of general medicine to a highly specialized field. Now, what other publications are not is they're not simply products in which Karger has its name on. The entire project behind a patent publication revolves around a very in-depth, thorough, and close relationship with the customers, in which Karger provides not only the platform and the means to create a journal, but also the expertise and the training that is required in appointing an editor-in-chief, in finding editorial board members, in educating those, how to run, and of course in the long term maintain a journal, again highly and in intense cooperation with the institution. Furthermore, as we all have seen so far, the market has pushed towards the need for establishing the so-called publish and access agreements. Now, in the market, they have various names. Some refer to them as publish and access agreements, some as transformative agreements, some as publish and read agreements. In any case, what they essentially revolve around is the gradual shift of the costs of the customers from traditionally from access towards publishing. Now, Karger, in its practice, has taken into account the very large and diverse landscape out there, which has led respectively to the development and to the conclusion of various agreements, which take different shapes and take very closely into account the needs and the expectations of our customers, whether they're located in the Far East or Far West. And that has led to the establishment of several different patterns or several different types of publish and access agreements, which of course in the context of our discussion focus on open access publishing. We have in place deals known as transformative agreements, where the part of the budget is used for publishing services. We have agreements in place in which the access part is accompanied by either a credit deposit or vouchers that the institutions can benefit from, and those vouchers will allow them to publish open access in any of Karger's journals, whether they're hybrid journals or gold open access journals. And of course, this goes along with access to the entire portfolio of our e-journal collection. These, as I have said, vary widely. Well, it depends highly on the particular market in place. But as of today, you can see on the following map that we have publish and access agreements with most of the worldwide consortia. We have plenty and couple of agreements with individual institutions, and all of them can take different shapes depending on the discussions and the cooperation we have with the respective institution. Karger is proud to take a very flexible, very customized and tailor-made approach, which meets the particular needs of the institutions, and thus we have such a variety of different forms and shapes of our agreements. What else has Karger done in the last couple of years? Well, beyond establishing these transformative agreements, we have gradually started moving towards a direction in which Karger covers the needs of researchers along the entire cycle of their research, which means providing education on how and where to publish articles, giving the means of that through educational services. Karger has recently established its own platform called Karger Courses, where you can find a large list of courses where the researchers can sign up and then self-educate on publishing, on peer reviews, how to write the review and submit an article, how to choose the right journal, and so on. Further on, once they're done with the education part, the Karger publishers can further support them with curation services. This comes in the form of QInsight. So Karger has established a partnership with a startup called Quarta, which has developed the AI-based discovery tool QInsight. Now, QInsight is a tool particularly aimed at medical researchers, which provides them with the chance to find information a lot easier, a lot faster, and a lot more relevant information. Further on, once the research is done, we come to the point in which researchers are ready to publish. For that, as I have already mentioned, our transformative agreements usually allow publishing open access in the entire portfolio of Karger journals, and done under the open access if that's what the authors prefer. That happens either in our gold open access journals or under the so-called author's choice if they would like to publish in a hybrid journal. And last but not least, as I've already mentioned, any deal in place highly encourages and allows our customers to access to the complete portfolio of our Karger online e-journal collection. That's pretty much in a nutshell as to the latest development of Karger. A lot of our information has we've received the support of Ebsco all along in terms of promoting these transformative agreements and any other services in place. And for anything that you or your customer might be particularly interested in, we're open to any ideas, feedback, or any particular offers that you and your institution behind might be interested in. With that, I know it was a rather brief presentation, but I would like to thank you for your attention and welcome any questions in the question and answer session at the end.